Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me. Whoa, 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 ho, ho. What is up, whack people? Thank you so much for tuning in today to another exciting episode of the series, Talk Whack to Me. I am, of course, your host, Honorable OCT Octavius Haye, and I want to talk whack today. Before we get into that, though, please, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, like this, and hit that notification bell so you are made aware every time I'm dropping content on this channel. Okay, with that being said, it's time to go ahead and talk whack. So let's talk whack to them. Now, this episode, we're going to be talking about the situation with Disney versus the state of Florida. More specifically, Governor Ron DeSantis, who's the governor of Florida. Now, Disney came out speaking against the Don't Say Gay bill, as the critics are calling it. The bill's pretty much saying that schools cannot, I guess, push a narrative or push an agenda, educate students on, homosexual relationships or transgender transformations or anything like that. Parents are saying that they don't want their kids to be taught about that, and they want that to be respected by the schools. Critics of the bill are saying it's just an excuse to not include gay people or to divide gay people from the more conservative kids and make them look at them bad, or even sue them because that's talks that if is a violation of this law, that parents can sue the school if they feel like their child has been taught anything about, homosexuality, transgender. And a lot of people are saying, if you just bring up your partner, are you going to go, is that a lot means for a lawsuit? So like if a gay person brings up their lover, their husband or their wife, and students are around here and they tell the parents, could the parents sue then? It's just very dangerous. And it's just kind of seems like they're just trying to, across the board, get rid of homosexuality or ban it, is quote unquote ban it. Now, if you ask me, this just seems like another culture war BS thing, because these politicians really don't have any economic policies to offer the American people to better your life. So they'll just go ahead and do culture war stuff because they know they can distract you from that while they keep on, getting money from their corporate donors and keep allowing the pay gap between the wage gap between the very rich and, middle to lower class people, allowing that to grow and us to keep being worse while nobody offers anything. It's really a sad tactic that both Democrats and Republicans use. They both have their donors who don't really want too much to improve for the working class, because as it stands, they like to put the corporations like to push themselves in power, and having people need them keeps them in power. But that's for another video, maybe down the line. This is right here about Disney in Florida, Disney World and Florida. So Ron DeSantis is pretty much, let's go back right now. Disney pretty much at this point governs themselves. They have complete control over their parks. They are in charge of that. They don't even get taxed. They tax by the state. Because they are 100% in control, they can decide what happens on their land when they want to do a new project. They don't need permission or anything like that. They just go ahead and build. This was an agreement made when Disney first came to Florida. State of Florida figured that this was going to be an attraction that brought a lot of tourists, a lot of money to the state. So that helped them. And then Disney was like, well, yeah, we'll help you, but we also want to have complete control of the park. So that amount of land that Disney's on has been theirs to deal with, do it as they please. And because of that, again, they don't pay taxes. So Disney actually taxes themselves. And their tax rate is actually higher than the state of Florida. So they're taxing themselves a lot of money. They have, firefighters, police officers, pretty much everything that a function society would need. They pay for that themselves. So these are all working under Disney. And again, no cost to the taxpayers of Florida, but they still get to go to Disney World if they want to, right? It's all good. So Disney being a corporation, they don't want to speak out against anybody. They want everybody to come to their parks. So even though they, donate to Republicans, I think they even donated to Ron DeSantis, whatever his name is. They donated to him. And so they lean more towards that conservative route because, of course, that is, that route helps them with the tax cuts and things like that. Even though they don't pay taxes statewide, they still pay federal taxes. So they went ahead and just said, hey, we don't support this. We don't like people feeling like they can't speak on who they are. Ron DeSantis, of course, gets upset about this, and I think about them taking money back, which I don't know if that was 100% true, but that's what I heard, that they took their donation back or something like that, or weren't going to donate to him anymore. So he gets upset about this. So he decides that this system that's been working out forever, it's no longer working in the state of Florida, and now they're going to lose their control over that land, and they're going to have to start paying taxes, which, we'll get into that in a moment. They're going to start paying taxes, and it's just going to be like any other business in the state of Florida. Now, of course, the people on the left are upset about this. They think that this is an attack on Disney for voicing their opinion. The people on the right are happy about this. They're calling it corporate welfare, and it wasn't fair for Disney to be able to have that much power. Now, where do I stand on this? Yes, I will say that Disney had a lot of power to themselves, but the thing I didn't have a problem with was it wasn't affecting the taxpayers. It was just Disney. We want to build the rise. We want to build, do da. Now you can say them not having to pay any state taxes, money could be used. Yes, it can, but Disney also has is very pricey to take care of, so you would have to argue a lot of that money would just go back towards Disney anyway. Since that state, you need law enforcement there, you need medical attention. Disney has all that. They take care of all that out of their own dime. And one thing I don't like about this though is that Ron DeSantis can be say because you voiced a disagreement with my policy, I'm going to punish you. You're going to be punished for your words of disagreeing with me in America. And it's crazy because I saw me on the right talk about free speech. But when you give free speech here in this instant, then you have a government official punishing you for that free speech. I don't care if you're a corporation. I think anybody can say, hey, this is not what our corporation stands for. We don't agree with this. We don't agree with that. Whether I agree with them or not, I think that is any person's right. And any people who are in a corporation in agreement, if this is what we're going to stand for, this is what we're not going to stand for, they have that right. So I do not agree with Ron DeSantis doing this to Disney in that way, because that opens up a whole nother can of worms of, well, then you just punish anybody, or are we still a democracy? Or if you don't agree with me, I can take it out on you. I can try to punish you in some way, take something from you, write a law that hurts you. I don't think that's right. And I think anybody, regardless of where you lean at in the political scale, whatever you lean towards, you have to see the danger in that. You have to see how that can cause, fascism in a way, and how, just attacking your political enemies and not allowing them to have a voice, and you have to stand by what I say. Now, I'm not trying to be extreme about this, but you have to look at those things, because when you let little things go, they continue to grow and grow and grow and become something bigger. So I think you do have to pay attention to when you have government officials, governor of Florida, essentially punishing Disney for speaking out a term, right, in his mind. So I don't like that. Also, what a lot of people aren't looking at, like I said earlier in this video, Disney tax themselves, and they tax themselves at a higher rate than what Florida taxes. So now with this happening, and it's not going to happen for a year. So you never know if they'll come to an agreement or something to be worked out, or, this might just be for show. A lot of people saying Ron DeSantis is probably going to run or thinking about running. Either way, he's trying to raise his profile within the base, and he's probably the number 2 most popular Republican behind Trump. But anyway, them getting rid of this will only hurt the taxpayers of Florida, because now the taxpayers of Florida are going to have to front the bill for Disney. Yeah, you didn't think about that. Yeah, all that the care that needs to be go over there, Disney takes care of their own electricity, everything that is now going to have to go into the tax that's going to have to go, or have to be dealt with by the taxpayers of Florida. So that's a bigger burden on them. It might lead to an increase on taxes on them. unfortunately, but that's what's going to happen. So I just don't think that this is a well thought out. And as usual, a lot of times people who read the headlines and look at like the symbolic gesture without really digging into it to see, well, what does this really do? Because once you start really looking at a lot of these policies, or a lot of these, this symbolism, once you start really going into the weeds and digging in there and checking on it, interior, it falls apart really, really easy. And I think this is just another one of those cases of it's just falling apart really easy, because right now it's actually benefit to the taxpayers of Florida not to have their taxes be a burden, or not to be burdened by taking care of Disney with their taxes. As far as like officers having to be there, that's more, that's going to have to be spread out, and more money going to be spread out to get, officers in there on time. So if somebody gets hurt, they got to get in there to get them. Roads get any type of damaged roads or anything like that. Signs or stoplights, stop signs, whatever. That's going to have to all now be maintained by the city. Grass, everything's going to have to be maintained by the city as it stands. So I think that's something to look at. And I understand it. Trust me, I understand. You don't want big corporations to just have it easy. And so I get where a lot of people are cheering that, but you have to really, everything isn't black and white, there's areas of gray. And so you have to, we all have to stop letting these politicians give us this rah-rah speech. And it sounds good, but let's look at it. Let's actually do some research. Let's investigate this. Let's see what fits and what doesn't fit. So this video isn't so much about the Don't Say Gay as it is about the Disney punishment. I don't think that any government official should be allowed to do that. I think that's wrong. That's against the Constitution. I know you conservatives love the Constitution, so you should be upset with him too. And then for everybody on the left, I think that, I think that it should be discussed more so about how, taking the burden from Disney to care for that land and that property and putting it on taxpayers, how that's not fair to those taxpayers, and how this law isn't really thinking long term. It's just for a symbolic gesture. Now, with all that being said, I'm not here to say that Disney is a good guy. I don't think Disney is a good guy. I don't think Disney really cares either way about the Don't Say Gay bill. I think they're just doing what corporations do. They're just giving lip service and just putting a thumbs up like, hey, we support you. And it's kind of become this thing, but, not making I'm not putting Disney on a pedestal or trying to make a pass for them. I'm just letting you know that in this instance, with this situation, why I don't agree with this, why I think this is bad. And hopefully Ron DeSantis can get over himself and stop doing this. And Disney, I think that the way it works, I don't know, maybe not. And I would probably have to do some more research into it to see what the benefits are versus the negatives, positive versus the negatives, when it comes to Disney and Florida, and what would be the best way. But I do think that this is going to be bad for, again, the taxpayers who are going to have to foot that bill for now, maintaining care of the property that Disney's on. So, yep, that's the WACC talk for today. Thank you all so much for listening. This has been fun, and I'm going to be doing some more of these more often. So if you like this, there are going to be more of these topics to come that may not make it on the podcast, but I'll go ahead and talk to you guys here on YouTube. So with that being said, hey, love everybody. Do good. Appreciate the support. I'm whacking off. It's time to go. Peace out. See y'all next time.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.